Welcome to an alternative Heroic Ties, where we explore the world of what if. I'm Jeff with the Halcyon Masters, and I'm excited to bring you the story of
Shiro Kage
Taka. The story takes place after Taka broke the hold that Masa of House Kamuha had on his mind. He escaped her control after the revelation she used him to assassinate his former teacher. In the canon lore, Taka made his way to the Halcyon Fold and later met with Gwen. I'll put the links to both of those stories in the description below, and I recommend that you check them out now if you have not yet read or watched them. However, in this alternative fate lore, Taka did not run, but regrouped to fight against his oppressor. He also rescued the cutest baby fox. Let's get right into one of the most requested skin lores now. Another? Asked Masa. An ornate wooden box was delivered to House Kamuha in the night without catching a single guard's attention. In the box was the head of a House Kamuha henchman. He was tasked with collecting this year's contribution from the mountain villages. Instead, he was collected, beheaded, shoved into a box, and staged with a grotesque grin. Why so serious? Rumors spread through the villages of a
Shiro Kage
who lived in the Tangled Woods and has come to free the people of the mandatory contributions, kind of like a modern-day Robin Hood. As Masa and her quote-unquote sons ruled with fear and a dark prestige over the surrounding lands. Another of Masa's assassins grumbled that this ghost was picking off members of their house one by one, including Hibiki, Ryota, and that they had lost Taka the previous spring. Masa spoke to her son, saying, "Shadows cease to exist when light is shined upon them. What do we know about this
Shiro Kage?
He's deadly. He has a youthful immortality, but indecent humor. He seeks to right the wrongs of House Kamuha. Who fits that description? Only one, but how could it be?
Crazy deja vu.
Find Taka. Do not underestimate him." The legend of the
Shiro Kage
ghost only grew as Masa sent her best assassins after the shadow that plagued her, but none of her sons returned. She then hired bounty hunters, but all those who entered the Tangled Woods were killed, with only their heads being returned in ornate wooden boxes. By winter, Masa sat alone. She had no more sons and no prestige in the village. Every night, the bark of foxes echoed through the courtyard. She could not leave her dwelling knowing that the foxes were tricksters and could not be trusted. Almost without warning, a dozen foxes jumped through the paper walls of her house. Masa exhaled and released her illusion. 7 copies of herself, indistinguishable from reality, and all chanting their hypnotic magic in tandem. The barking of the foxes stopped, and Masa opened her eyes, believing that she had triumphed. But instead of seeing a group of hypnotized foxes, the room was littered with tanuki statues. Her chanting stumbled. She had never been out-tricked before. Coming from the entranceway was a familiar voice. "The souls of your sons have been reborn. You cannot control them anymore." Taka had appeared, physically changed from the Tangled Woods. Here is the real kicker. Taka is actually dead, and
Shiro Kage
is the embodiment of his spirit. Masa makes this reference when she says, "But you, my son, are not yet reborn," insinuating that he's between the living and the dead. She then begins to chant,
"You are Taka of House Kamuha. I have unburdened your mind of memory and remorse. This is my gift to you. It is a great honor to be of House Kamuha."
Before the chant could once again take control of his mind, the tanuki statues exploded and the foxes began to bark, which broke Masa's focus. That split second was enough time for Taka to strike down the first of her illusions with his bladed bones. One after another, the illusions fell. Taka's anger grew with each attack and his ki strengthened. The last thing that Masa saw in her life was Taka mid-flip overhead. He drove his blades straight down into her heart, and that is how House Kamuha became House Kitsune, where the people bring gifts of sweet tofu to the wild foxes who live there. There are no other legends of
Shiro Kage,
but it is said that he roams the Tangled Woods to this day, caring for orphaned animals and guiding unloved souls to their rest. That concludes this episode of Heroic Ties. A special thanks to my teammates for helping out with this video. And if you're looking to see more Halcyon Masters, be sure to check out RoxyIsSmall, who streams on Mob Crush every Tuesday and Friday. I also want to say thank you to SugarVenom for the awesome stories, and the talented team at SEMC for the great artwork and game. Lastly, if you enjoyed this video, press the like button and be sure to subscribe. Subscriptions really help out this channel, and it's an easy way for you to show your support, plus I really want to hit 10,000 subs. Until next time, we'll see you on the Halcyon Fold.